welcome. I'm Carla Collins of Carla Collins Rocks the Elmo. Put your name in the title. That way they can't fire you. It's a podcast. I'm just deeply insecure. Yes, once again, if you're watching this instead of listening to it, this is Dr. Zira, my faithful Chihuahua. She's wearing dinner gloves. She's always ready for drinks, as am I. All right, I'm putting it over there. Yes, I've become the white woman who brings her Chihuahua everywhere. Stop judging me. We're all doing what we can to get through the days right now. I hope you're doing okay and hanging in there. I hope in the next hour or so, bring you a little bit of levity and some great pearls and nuggets of wisdom. Not from me, of course. No, I'm as deep as a lunch tray, but from my guests. I have some wonderful guests today that I can't wait to tell you about. And just to break the ice right now before I get to the guests, if you're in lockdown or you're like, when is this going to end? Because it's lasting longer than my marriage is. Fun fact, #science. Keep in mind that I think we're getting better. Remember, I think the scariest part of this pandemic is when they said that the coronavirus could be transmitted through farts. Because I was like, wow, who'd have thought we'd be living in a time when pull my finger was considered uttering a death threat? So keep that in mind, and we hope to just help you escape for the next hour. We have a fabulous musical performance too, and I'm gonna get a tattoo. That's right. And it's not gonna be one of those tattoos where it's that kind of, like all the yoga chicks get, where it's in Sanskrit, and you think it says power within or the tree of life, but it says I blew menudo or something. So I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna get one that's a very special tattoo. You'll find out all about that. We'll also discover what nipple toques are, which I think will be something that you can take with you into your work week. And I have phenomenal guests. They're the Singing Soldiers, so already nothing but respect. And a couple of great guys, Graham Trude and Earl, I believe I'm pronouncing that correctly. It might be Earl. I'll check with them. Enjoy, sit back. So I always get a little bit nervous around soldiers, like, do I salute?
Yes.
Do I namaste? Yes, a curtsy, air guns. I don't know exactly what to do, but I respect the hell out of you. Welcome, guys. I'm so glad you're here today.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
So you are Graham, you are Chris. I guess I want to know, first of all, how did you two crazy kids meet?
It was the dating app.
Yeah,
it was
Grinder,
yeah,
Harmony.
Wasn't it the Canadian one, Timber?
What's Timber?
Well, you meet a lumberjack.
Oh, okay.
Is it
That
just
could have
me?
been it. No, he actually scouted me. He scouted me on the internet. I was doing a whole bunch of touring before with an iconic band in Canada called the Good Brothers, and I was doing a lot of
Nice.
stuff with them, which I love those guys. A big inspiration to me, and they used to call me the Singing Soldier. So, and I didn't really like that name, just because, like, when I thought the Singing Soldier, most people would think that I'd get out there in like a tuxedo and start singing "Oh Danny Boy," and so and it was funny because I was kind of the opposite of that. So
Yeah, if you're just
anyway.
listening, Graham is a very handsome bastard. He's
Yeah.
covered in tats. It's actually your tattoo parlor I'll be going to, Rustuk
Yeah.
Tattoo. And yeah, again, you look like Will Sasso's younger, more handsome brother.
Oh, good.
If I could put it, yeah, just so. But you could do a tux. You could switch it up.
Yeah, I do that every now and then.
He's got the T-shirt that has the cummerbund and the bow tie and
Yeah.
Awesome.
the dicky and all that.
Yeah, I can't even smell cummerbund. So
What's a cummerbund?
yeah, I have no idea,
I'm just
honestly.
assuming that we order it, Uber Eats brings it. Anyway,
Yeah, exactly. That's
how it
that's
goes.
what it sounds like. So
So you found Graham.
Yeah.
What were you looking for?
It was kind of a funny thing. Basically, what happened was I was in a transition in my world, and I wanted to. I had kind of departed from music, and I was in the military now. I wasn't writing, I wasn't playing, I wasn't doing anything. And then all of a sudden it just started hitting me, these songs, and I thought, you know what, I gotta get out. I gotta get playing these songs in front of people. And so I thought, well, I'm in the military and I'm a singer, so that kind of makes me like a singing soldier. So I went on the Google box and I looked it up.
You can't get away from it, dude.
Yeah. So I typed into Google singing soldiers because I wanted to know if there was such a thing already. And lo and behold, there was this newspaper from Saskatchewan, and
Nipawin, Saskatchewan. Yeah, yeah.
And there was this dude that had done this concert with the Good Brothers, and I thought, okay, well, I'm safe. He's out in Saskatchewan, and I'm in Ontario. No big deal. I'll plagiarize the shit out of that. So
This
I
is
thought,
beautiful.
Yeah.
Kids, if you're listening, this is how you do it.
So I decided
It's like a TED Talk.
to, to look him up on Facebook and YouTube or whatever else, because I thought, chances are he's no good, and then I'll be good, and then I'll be the singing soldier. And so anyway, I looked him up, and shots fired. He was in Collingwood, Ontario, which was 30 minutes from my house. So
Wow.
So anyway, if you can't beat him, join him. So I reached out.
I thought the next part was, then I tried to have him killed.
Yeah.
Come on.
It was close, but he was Air Force, so he didn't know where
I
to
didn't
start.
know which end of the gun to point at you.
Yeah, or the
So
broom.
I'm sorry, you're Air Force?
I am.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
Not
Thank
a
God I'm
pilot.
wearing the,
I'll
the
just
nipple
stop that right
toques.
there.
What they are, by the way, so that your nipples don't show through your clothes. You're welcome, gentlemen. And
Why are
mine
we
just
welcome?
went.
We don't want
Oh, sorry. That just happened.
That just happened.
Wow.
Do
listen,
that
It
again.
could have been better timing.
I got to tell you, Thelma and Louise just jumped off a cliff. For the kids, I know. I'm sorry that you're just listening to this because my shirt just popped open, and but thank God for the nipple, the nipple toques. All right. So if Janet Jackson had had a nipple toque, we wouldn't have had the whole brouhaha. So Air Force, I'm a fly girl. I joke that I can fly a plane like a terrorist because when I was taking lessons, I did everything but land, and I just
That's
moved
right.
and I stopped taking lessons. So, but what do you do in the Air Force?
So I'm an aircraft structures technician. So I work on the Griffin helicopter.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
That's such a beast. It's so sexy. Tell us about the Griffin. Just for a second. Whatever, it's my podcast.
Stop
Yeah,
feeding his
it's-
ego.
You know
Yeah.
what? This is my show. It's Carla Collins Rocks the Elmo. Now tell us about the Griffin.
It's a terrible helicopter. It's it's well overdue to be exiled from the forces.
Oh,
Now I could romance the shit out of this if you want, but it's
well, it's too late now,
yeah.
Chris. But
Yeah, it's true. I'll say
No,
positive
you know
stuff.
what? It's great for what it does. It's a troop carrier, and it kind of as we get into this story here, I'm actually, obviously, I'm very very proud of what it is that both of us have done for our country, and
you're still active military.
I
right?
actually just retired.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm an old guy now, so I just hung up the uniform a little over a week ago.
Wow. Well, congratulations.
Yeah,
And thank you
well,
for your service.
Thank you. But so the big thing for me, all kidding aside, is the Griffin helicopter was very, very responsible for getting my brother in and out of trouble, getting all the boys over in Afghanistan in and out of trouble. And if it wasn't for that helicopter, we couldn't do what we do overseas. So it is a phenomenal thing.
Thank you. See, I knew the Griffin helicopter would be a great thing to do a deep dive into. Stop judging me, Graham.
I'm not judging.
So now, Graham, obviously, as Chris said, you were in Afghanistan.
Yeah, so I was
And
over there.
what years were you there?
I was there in 2009. I went until 2010. I wish I could tell you the exact months, but it was all kind of a blur to me.
I'm sure.
Yeah, and then when I came home, I developed this really amazing issue called post-traumatic stress disorder.
And it was quite extreme for you, correct?
Oh yeah, huge. Yeah, it was more life or death to me, to be honest. So, which is a lot of our members in the military and in first response are dealing with right now, and we lose people to it every single day. So, what we tried to do as a band when we originally got together, I had my own solo career at the time, and I was with a different label called Allied Music Group in Los Angeles. And I ended up leaving them just flat out because of what Chris and I had talked about and how we need to, not only be true to ourselves, but give back to our community and our comrades and try and breach this whole, what's the word?
stigma.
Yeah, the stigma of post-traumatic stress. And I mean, it's something that we've been working on really, really hard with various charities and various individuals. And luckily, like since we've been together, we've developed an incredible fan base which is awesome, and we love them so much. It's more like a family. It's weird. It's not a fan base. It's more like people like actually reach out to us like personally, too. So it's really interesting.
Isn't
but
that remarkable?
Yeah,
Well,
it's
because
amazing.
obviously, there's a great need for that, right? They want to connect. And if you don't mind me asking for anyone listening, and even myself, because I joke that, you know, a lot of times white women, I have PTSD. No, because your eyebrows didn't get waxed properly. Like, no, I'm just saying it's become, people throw it around a lot.
Yeah.
You know, some anachronisms and words get into the vernacular, and people ride it like an old mule. And I'm not diminishing. I know there are, you know, variations on it. But could you describe for me what yours was, or what post-traumatic stress disorder entails?
I mean, I think Chris, like, to be honest with you, like, Chris describes it better than I can, because, like, when I describe it, it's more of like just a giant pile of shit, because there's so much of it. But you always give like a really good announcement to it when you talk about it. And
I think the big thing with post-traumatic stress is that it's different for everybody.
Right.
So I know what blue is, and you know what blue is, but does that actually mean that it's the same in our brains? So the way that I like to kind of give you know, reference to is, you know, everybody has a cup, and as that cup fills up, some people's cups are smaller than others, so the cup's going to run over faster.
Right.
So it's not always the same. You know, his level of anxiety that he can control versus my level of anxiety are very, very different. And so you can never say to somebody, well, you know, I mean, you don't have night tremors, or you don't have this, or you don't, you know, so you're not suffering as bad as me. Unfortunately, in what we do, we're challenged every day through our fan base and through our friends and family. Suicide is a big, big problem in what we do. And
it's also very prominent for men. I was just reading,
Yeah.
I was watching a mental health seminar, and again, not to sound trite, but one of the reasons we really wanted to do this show, and it's the second leading cause of death for men,
yeah,
adult men after heart episodes.
yes.
And I think, I mean, and I'm not an, I think it's because I think traditionally men have a more difficult time opening up about this, or maybe it doesn't seem manly, or, you know, it's, your feelings are sometimes you keep them close to the vest as opposed to women. And I know these are huge generalizations, so don't be hitting me up when you hear this. I'm just saying generally.
Right.
I think that's the case, where it's harder for you to be as effusive as perhaps women.
well, you're right. I agree 100%
I think that's
with what you're
just,
saying.
sometimes things are just facts. So so the fact that you're starting this dialogue, I think, is the biggest step in helping to have
And
people
what's
come
important,
forward, or
yeah, and what's really important about it is that it doesn't ever go away. It's like alcoholism. It's like drug
Right.
addiction. You have to learn how to manage it.
so it's chronic.
It's
a chronic
absolutely,
illness.
because you can't unsee what you've seen overseas, or what it is that has triggered your synapses to fire improperly, or to give you horrible thoughts or suicidal thoughts or whatever it is. And you know what, in today's day and age with social media and everything, influencers out there, and the way that it all, you know, bullying and everything else that happens, you know, it's no wonder that, you know, our kids of today are feeling that pressure of, you know, I'm not good enough, I can't go to school today, and all of those things. It's like, so our conversation isn't limited to first responders and to military guys, you know, that
No,
are
it's
all
universal.
Yeah, it's a universal language now. And you know, when we go online or we say something or whatever, and I'm proud to stand up and say, you know what, I went to a therapist today, or I had to talk to somebody. Sometimes he's my therapist. You know, we need to just call each other and bitch, you know, whatever it is.
Well, I'm thinking there's, you know, I think the other challenge, if I may, for you two, and anyone who's served or the troops or in military, that's a smaller support group. For example, I have no idea what it's like to go out to Afghanistan. The toughest place I've been to is Sault Ste. Marie, and that's where I was born. These aren't my original teeth.
It's pretty rough.
That was pretty rough. Just why you know I won a fight once when I was 10 by sticking my finger up a girl's nose, and my Auntie Alice taught me that. Anyway, back to you.
I'm glad you chose her nose.
She was 2.
But but I think, I mean, it's specific
Yeah.
what you've seen, and there isn't a great, I don't know what the percentage is of the population on Earth that's witnessed the atrocities that you fellas have.
You know, it's interesting because the only way I felt that I was getting better was to really open up and talk about it. Like, you know, if you would have talked to me a couple years ago, I would have been like, no, I don't have that. Like, you know, that's all kind of like, that's not me type thing. But I've noticed that like my healing process is huge, especially with a lot of our fan base as well, for me opening up about, you know, not only my traumas, I open up about them. I open up about my alcoholism because I am an alcoholic, and I open up about that. And I've been sober now for 1.5 years, which I'm very proud of. And it's and it's awesome. And I love my life now, being sober. And it was really hard for me because alcohol was my biggest crutch. Like I loved it because it got rid of all those nasty feelings until it didn't.
So that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
Alcohol numbs you until you just have a problem sandwich now.
Well,
now
and
you have your
that's all
initial
it was.
problem, and now
Yeah.
you have maybe sometimes a greater problem.
Well, and that's it. And then it got to the point of you know, almost suicide until it came down to I need major help for this, which I got through Veterans Affairs, and I love and appreciate very much because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for them. Mm-hmm. And I went to a place in Nanaimo, British Columbia called Edgewood, got the help that I needed there. I did the trauma and addictions program, and as I said, I've been sober since. I had a huge support through my wife, through Chris, through, you know, we had to cancel a couple shows, unfortunately, from when it happened.
This was
but
more important.
yeah, it was a lot more important. And to tell you the truth, like just the amount of therapy that I got from it, and that we also give to other veterans in our fan base and whatnot, it's just been huge. And I just think it's necessary. It's not something that a lot of people talk about. And even
No, not nearly enough.
yeah, and even people that are addicts and whatnot, like, you know, it's just such a taboo thing to talk about, and I just don't care anymore. So I just talk about it.
You know, I also want to say to people who are just listening to this show and not seeing you, you know, Graham Trude is a big, handsome, tatted up, like you're basically the poster child for, you know, manly. I'm just saying that, like, you know, I think we all give it an image or a face of, well, that can't be happening to him, and you know, and I actually did have the pleasure of meeting your beautiful wife, and you know, was over at your place. It's spectacular, and I just think people need to know, right, that it's all shapes, forms, because I think that's, and now more than ever with the isolation and the trauma, that it's maybe not what you expect, you know, because through movies and TV, we think, well, this is, you know, you're the addict, there's a needle sticking out your arm. You know, like it's been so, you know, it's extreme. And yes, and that's what we expect when it's all of us. And we're all addicts, by the way.
For sure.
But you just pick your, you know, whether
pick
it's,
your poison, yeah.
you know, alcohol or smoking, and you can be addicted to, as you said, social media, where everyone's through an Instagram filter, so then we feel even worse about ourselves, and I'm like, I can't cope with this. You know, I'm less secure than the U.S.-Mexican border. I can't. But I think, if I may, one of my coping mechanisms are bad one-liners.
I thought it was pretty good.
Thank you. And the occasional good one.
Yeah.
Graham, for anybody who's listening now, and I'm going to tell you right now that there are a lot of people listening and going through really difficult times, because life on its own is challenging, and now we've been thrown pandemic. There are financial stripes like we've never seen. If someone's listening to you right now, what do you say if they haven't talked about it yet? They're holding this like an ulcer inside.
What I say, and I always say this, and I'm going to be honest with you, I hate saying this too. You're not alone. And I hate saying that because the shittiest thing in the world is hearing someone say that, yet you still feel alone. And I think, you know, Ed Sheeran had a song recently, and I forget what it was called, but I was listening to it, and it says, surrounded but still alone. And it made so much sense to me, and I'm just like, holy crap. But I really do mean that. Like, you are not alone. Like, people feel like that. Like, this is a huge feeling. Like, and depression and anxiety and all this stuff that are just whatever taboo things to talk about or to really dive into, like it's real, and I'm living proof that it's real, and I'm living proof that you can go through it. But the only way you can go through it is with a support system. You're not going to do it alone. There's no way you can do it alone. You need to reach out and you need to talk to someone. Like my best friend obviously is my wife, and I talk to her about everything. And then I have a therapist, and then I have my friends, and then I have, different, music is a huge therapy to me.
That's
right?
our therapy.
Of course,
That's it.
of course.
But it's different ways. Spirituality is also a big one with me too, and I never thought I would actually kind of say those words, but spirituality is huge for me. Like I smudge, I do...
Awesome.
Yeah, I do all sorts of, weird things that I would find weird back in the day, and now
it's really effective. I mean, and there's actually science behind it, and as you know, Chris, it's a native ritual
Absolutely.
that has
Yeah.
a lot of power.
Yeah.
And one of my jokes is that I talk about my older gentleman lover, and how because he's put in all his vows. There's good things about older men and younger men, and the thing is, he's been with, I said, hundreds upon hundreds of women, and you see the audience all recoil, like they're worried about me. I say, no, I practice safe sex. Before we make love, I just sage that dick.
Yeah.
I just
You have
gets
to.
rid of all the ghosts of Studio 54.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
but I mean, the great thing, I think, as we evolve, is that spirituality got to come out of the closet. Now we're all
Yeah.
like, namaste, gold pony boy. Everybody, I was making jokes about, the stuff that I was into going back now almost, let's say 15 years. Didn't really go over so much. Now I say, oh, this show is like Botox for your third eye. Everybody, okay, I gotcha. Like, I think more and more people, as opposed to it was just like, your hippie Wiccan friend over there is doing a ritual and saying so mote it be or something, I don't know. And I love making jokes about it, but I've been into it for a long time because it really helps. We're not, these are just tuxedos we're renting.
That's right.
We're spiritual beings. So that would just bring us back to the homeland, I think.
Absolutely.
I work with a lot of people now, first responders and veterans who all have trauma-related issues. So we call them operational stress injuries, but again, a lot of people do have them. So I just like to kind of call it what it is, post-traumatic stress disorder. But again, that's like the main thing that I preach to everybody is spirituality.
And why?
Well, because there's this whole concept of you need to find a power greater than yourself. And I'm not talking about the addiction side or any of the 12-step program or anything like that.
No, you're not saying like
I'm not
the
talking
biblical
about
God.
The God staring at you down and going.
Yeah, why is God an angry drag queen in every biblical tale?
Exactly.
Anyway.
Beautiful beard, but miserable.
Yeah, great fullness.
Agreed. Yeah,
You
I
both
wish
should
I could
appreciate
get it.
that.
Yeah. Salt and pepper over here.
Yeah,
Loves it.
that's the only thing we take away from that, though. Really.
But yeah, and it was funny because I was in Edgewood, I was in Nanaimo, and I'm doing this thing, and I'm like, I can't find this, this power greater than myself. Obviously, I know there is. I'm just thinking like too much inside the box until I actually started to walk in nature, and I started to walk in nature alone, and then I realized that my God is nature. My God is the spiritual nature.
I love
and
that.
as fucking weird as it sounds, that's what it is. It's like the power, and it hit me like a hammer, and I'm like, wow, the power greater than myself is just being in nature. It's nature itself.
Wow, the more you mimic nature, the better off we are, because it is our teacher.
Well,
right?
and
we're part of it.
And think about this, like, what's the most peaceful place for you? Like, you personally, what's the most peaceful place?
Oh, I'd probably say it's outdoors. It's going to be either by the ocean or walking in a forest.
So here's the interesting thing is that we did this, I don't know, it was kind of like a practice at Edgewood. And anyway, every single person in the room, we did this. Draw your place of peace. Draw where you feel the most peaceful. And my art is horrible. I don't do the tattooing, don't worry. So
Okay, phew.
But it was draw the most peaceful place and the most spiritual place for you. And every single person there drew something to do with the outdoors. So what does that tell you? You know what I mean? It's just, it's not like, I don't know. It was just such a powerful moment.
And it's so simple,
Yeah.
too. I think we overreach. We overcomplicate so often in our lives.
Yeah.
When if we just had the same rhythm as nature, which is, it almost seems like too obvious. Like, did you cheat on that test? Did you put nature down? We all put nature down. And of course it would be that. Mind you, I did have this really big urge when you said, what's your most peaceful place? I was like, on stage at a comedy club right now. It's quiet. But I mean, I don't know why we don't mimic it more. Because I always think all the answers are within.
Yeah.
And an instinct and taking cues from nature. It seems to be, one of the greatest masters, and it doesn't force anything, and they're all the seasons, and it's not always pretty.
Yeah.
Look what's happening in nature.
Absolutely.
Well, and it's interesting, my dad used to tell me something all the time when I was younger, and I didn't quite get it until I was older. But he always used to say, you have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. You need to listen twice as much as you talk. And that's where you're going to start understanding people. And ever since I started doing that, it was just like, wow.
That's brilliant.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting? I've only so far been doing a couple of these shows, and that's the second time. Kim Mitchell was also saying, I said, where do you get your power? How are you so enlightened through it? And he said, listening.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting.
What's that?
That's it.
I'm just being an asshole.
I wasn't listening.
I try to put a little bit of the comedy in. Now,
Well, you just did. You said Kim Mitchell. Sorry, Kim, I'm joking. We love your stuff.
great guy, great. And I don't know if you've heard his latest album, but very much a country influence.
Oh, nice.
I mean, I'm a big metal fan, as you can probably see. I'm not really... he gets me shit all the time for it, because he always talks, do you know this person, and then you know this person? I'm like, no, man.
That's right, because you would classify yourself as a country singer, and the Singing Soldiers are country, but you dislike country music.
I don't dislike it. I just don't like the direction it's going, to be honest. I don't think it's... I like music, and I like country music, but what we're hearing nowadays isn't country music, man. I grew up on real country music. So did Chris. That's not... And I don't consider us country either.
Because it's all synthesized and prefab and all that.
I don't know. I just don't consider us country either. I don't know.
Yeah,
I think you have your own genre. Weren't you saying that to me before
Yeah,
the show?
we're two very different artists, which is what makes us great, because it's, my big joke is that if you don't like the song you're listening to, just stick around. 3 minutes, it completely changes, right?
So very eclectic then.
Yeah, absolutely. When he's singing, it's kind of new age type stuff. It's all his influences from everything, but he's a genuine songwriter, and same with me, but it's all the influences I draw from. So it ends up being so organic and so varied and everything else. I think the big thing, and I talked earlier about how I'd really given up on music. I had, a 25-year career, did Nashville, did all that stuff, had a publishing deal, the whole thing. And I got tired of chasing radio. It was like, radio doesn't know what it wants, so how am I supposed to conform to that? There is no norm. And so I just thought, no, pull it all in, and I'm just going to let it fester inside me for a year or 2 or 3 or whatever it's going to take. Right. And then when it starts coming out again, it's going to be who I am. Yeah. And all the filters were off. So now I found myself singing songs about family values, moral compass, ethics, and everything that I believe in.
Right.
And sometimes it's, poking fun at the world or poking fun at me or whatever, but it's genuine. It's real.
And it's you.
And the great thing is, a really good friend of ours, I'll throw a name out there, Jason McCoy, said to me when I reached out and said, what's the climate of the industry now? Because I think I'm writing some great stuff again, and I want to start throwing it out there. And he goes, be careful what you write, because you got to sing it the rest of your life. Right?
Wow, like a mantra.
Yeah, so...
You're singing it over and over.
Yeah,
right?
exactly, right? It becomes your identity, right? So I thought, that's a good thing. I'm in good shape, because I'll sing this shit till I die.
Yeah.
Because it's me. I don't have to pretend. I don't have to try to figure out, oh my God, I wrote this great pop song and now I'm a pop icon, and what am I going to do now? Because I can't duplicate that.
Like if I have to play my hit again, I think I'm going to lose my mind kind
right.
of. Yeah.
Right.
I'd have to lose a bunch of weight too, and we'd have to grow my hair out.
Yeah. We'd do it together?
We'd do it together.
Well, you're obviously a boy band now.
Yeah, we're a boy band.
I'm going to build this show as boy band, the Singing Soldiers.
I can't get a man bun anymore, so unfortunately.
Thank goodness. But,
So I'm
that's
gonna
a
do a
trend
beard
that
bun.
lasted way longer than anyone predicted. I'm like, how is that still a thing? It's really the man bun.
Chris was growing one out. It was actually kind of cool.
Yeah, I don't think so. Not... Not this head.
I don't know. He's wearing a hat now. I was listening.
It's all salt and pepper.
Gorgeous. Yeah, you guys look, I don't know, Chris, you're talking about a 25-year career and you look hella young. So whatever you're doing,
thank you.
keep it up.
Yeah.
Keep it up, brother.
Oil of Olay.
See how I said 25 and
Oil
not
of
30?
Olay. Yeah.
Oil of someone.
Oh, oil of something. Yeah.
I don't know where to go with that one,
Yeah, it got
but I'm
weird.
intrigued. I don't want to leave this conversation without this, because so many people are referring to what's happening right now with COVID-19, pandemic, whatever, the days we're living in, the unprecedented times people keep talking about. A lot of people have referred to it as the World War II of our generation. Mm-hmm. And so I wanted to speak to someone who's been at war. What do you make of that metaphor? Or, like, does that resonate with you at all?
No, I think that's a stupid fucking thing to say.
Okay, I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, to be honest with you, 100%. Yeah.
You've heard it referred to that, though, right?
I haven't heard the World War II of our generation, but yeah, anyone who would say that's kind of a moron. I mean, for what people like my grandfather did and what so many individuals did for World War II and how many lives were lost.
And we're being asked to stay
Yeah,
home.
and you're asked to stay home and
Wear a mask.
drink coffee and wear a mask,
Yeah, you want to see a mask, you should see the mask that we have to wear through our CBRN, our gas training. That's, those are masks.
This would be the answer I wanted.
I mean, it's just the truth. And people
also
don't like to hear
you're
it.
offering some perspective because, we get that it's a difficult time. Mm-hmm. However,
yeah, suck it up a little bit.
Yeah.
It's it could be a lot worse. It's a difficult time, and I hear that too, the unprecedented time, and give me a fucking break. A lot of the government is paying a lot of people, and I know it's not the best and whatnot, and I'm not going to get into all that, but at the end of the day, if you've got a roof over your head and you've got water to drink and food to eat, I think we need to start being a little bit more courteous and cautious about what we're grateful for. And gratitude is a major thing in the world of spirituality and in the world of just being a normal human being. So I think that we're not focusing on that as much anymore as people. And we need to start being a little bit more grateful for what we have. And take advantage of this situation right now. It's time to spend time with your family and your friends. And don't get me wrong,
it's a rebalance of the world. There's no two ways about it. And it's not making light of of the whole pandemic and everything either.
No, it sucks.
It sucks for everybody. But I think at the end of the day, it's don't be too self-absorbed in all of this. We all have to focus on a bigger thing. Now, Graham and I are 1%ers. We signed the bottom line to do something, for ourselves and for our country and whatever. We understand all of that. And we know that that's not everybody. We know that 99% of the world don't want to do that. Graham hasn't mentioned it yet, so I'll say it for him. He was a cop as well, and so he's always had an intuition to serve and to protect and to want.
I just wanted the film crew to stick around a little bit longer.
Put your drugs away. No, so
I was married to a cop once. You named it. I've been married to it.
Yeah. So
I'm making my way through the village, people.
So I think the point that I want to make is that we know what we signed up for, and that's okay. And we know that people didn't sign up for this, but at the same time, it's a small ask to try to get the world back in balance and to be able to have our yin and our yang again and to be able to, I can't wait to take my beautiful wife out to dinner again and things like that. And it's, we all want that balance back in our lives. So just hang in there, Well,
you don't appreciate something until it's gone. And, we've become very spoiled.
Oh, my God.
With all the technology and, this is not exactly covered wagons and cave paintings.
Yeah.
But my older gentleman lover knows about those.
How old is your lover?
Indeed.
Yeah.
That is the question. And, so obviously, before I let you go, I use mine through humor, and that's been a great help, I think, and I think we need more laughter. And I love what you said earlier, so I want to close with that. Two things. One was my mom always said, if you sprain your ankle, you go to the doctor. Why is it if you're depressed, people won't go? That distinction is so odd that we're taking care of the shell, but arguably even more important, our sanity and our well-being. I don't want to talk about that.
Yeah.
So I hope people take your lead after listening today, Graham, and contact that. And the other one, you mentioned it yourself, and what I'm most fascinated about everyone is I always want to know who or what your God is. And you were saying for you, Graham, it's nature. And what about you, Chris?
Yeah, it's Mother Earth. It's the universe. I'm Algonquin Native, and so as Indigenous people, we respect the earth with everything it's got and what it offers us, and so like Graham said, I mean, smudging is a huge part of everything that we do. And we had a big plan this year, didn't we, that we didn't get to exercise. When we were out on tour, we were going to smudge before every performance and make sure that we thank the universe and thank Mother Nature for every gift that she's given us, and go out and hit the stage. And then the pandemic hit. But it's coming.
And what do you feel smudging does? Because I wanted to leave everybody listening with sort of a ritual, because people are looking for things, right? They're seeking for something that maybe will make things just a little bit better.
Smudging is a cleansing.
Okay.
So the smoke is to cleanse your soul and to be free and to open and to give thanks. And as you're smudging, you're bringing the smoke and the spirit into you and into your ailments, and you wash yourself with it, and it's beautiful.
So it's a cleanser and a healer.
It sure is.
Like you boys are.
Well, and praying is a huge one too. Yeah. And I'm not talking about praying to your, the biblical God or whatever. But if that's your God, then you pray. But praying, in my eyes, is sitting back and listening to yourself and asking for help from the universe and from yourself as to what you're having issues with. So if you can sit there and be with yourself and be able to do that, I think that's a huge way for you to cleanse as well. I mean,
that's like meditation.
It is
stillness. Again, it's all within.
Listen.
I mean, my God is, I think everybody is God, right? That we all, it's within. You just got to tap into that source so that you realize you're a lot more powerful than you think.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's cool.
So we just need a community. That feels like a closer, guys. But two things. I can't wait to hear you, because I know you're going to bless us with a couple of your songs, which I'm very excited about. And just so that you know, Graham, when we visit, because it's coming up too, when we visit your shop, Rustuk Ink, in Wasaga Beach, Ontario, I'm getting a tattoo to honor my mom.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah, so I've decided on the Little Prince, Le Petit Prince. She was French, and that was so I think could be something unusual, and that's what I'm feeling. That, because otherwise I die, and the only tattoos I have are paw prints of dogs, and they're different colors, and it'll just look like,
that's okay.
Like a bunch of dogs on Pride Day trampled me, and I'm fine with that.
It's a good way to go.
Right. What? I'm just going to be ashes anyway. It's fine. So, guys, when we come back, like it's a show, but in moments from now, again, if you do what you have to do to get comfortable, because you're in for a real treat, we're going to hear from the Singing Soldiers. Thank you both so much.
Thank you.
Extraordinary. Thanks. All right, guys, you are in for such a treat right now. These are real-life action superheroes in the flesh, and damn talented, too. Please welcome, fabulously gracing the Mocambo stage, Graham Trude, Chris Earl. These are the Singing Soldiers.
Thanks, everybody. It's a real pleasure to be here. This is a huge historic moment for us as well. I just wanted to give a little bit of a backlog to this song here. This song is called Sideroad 49. It's written about my hometown in Collingwood, Ontario, and in one of the really darkest times that I was having in Afghanistan. I actually wrote this song at the bottom of a tank hull because it brought me back to my childhood. So I hope you enjoy it. Again, it's called Sideroad 49. It's kind of a fun tune. So.
I'm meet y'all down by Sideroad 49. I'll bring the beer, you bring the girls. Nothing like the feeling of the summertime. Right off the road down in the woods. You ready? We're living a life and we all know too well. Days like this just don't last too long. I learned a thing or two about raising hell from the rear view, right off Sideroad 49. Take it home. It's a little redneck place that I call home, where I learned a thing or two about love. Peppered up with buckshot signs all down that road. Yeah, that's how it was where we grew up. We're living a life and we all know too well. Days like this just don't last too long. I learned a thing or two about raising hell from the rear view, right off Sideroad 49. Yeah. Choked down my first beer, got all starry-eyed, grinning ear to ear. I saw things you can't recall too clear. Where I took a shot at my first fight, I got a busted nose and a blackened eye. Yeah, but you should have seen the other guy. We're living a life and we all know too well. Days like this just don't last too long. Last too long. I learned a thing or two about raising hell from the rear view, right off Sideroad 49. In the backwoods, right off Sideroad 49. Take it home.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much, Carla, for having us. Thank you, Weck. This has just been an incredible experience for us. Like Graham was saying a little bit earlier, you know, to be able to say that we played the El Mocambo, that is just so incredible for the Singing Soldiers. So thank you so very much for this opportunity. So what I want to do right now, folks, is take you a little bit into, you know, what we talked about earlier when we were sitting with Carla, and what the songs mean to us and how important they are to us. Because after all, for us, for the Singing Soldiers, music heals. Music heals the trauma. It heals, you know, when we hit the dark places and everything else. The song that we're going to sing next is one that I wrote. And the interesting thing is that, you know, we hear about artists, and we had Dan on Carla's show, and he was talking about 10 years writing an album, and that's incredible, because it's taking an entire lifetime and it's putting it into his work. And the interesting thing about
a lot of the songs that Graham and I write is that the songs come out so fast because it is our life. And when you're writing about your own life and your own experiences, the story's already written. You're just trying to find that vehicle to be able to get that message out to the people. This next song is called This Old House. And what's so important about this song for me, and it's one of those songs that, Carla tends to have a lot of people cry on her show. And we didn't cry while we were talking to her, but sometimes I cry during this song. Because this song is all about, in the military, we get posted. And when we get posted, we have to move our family, take them away. And, the kids have to say goodbye to their friends and their family, their school, and all that kind of stuff. I got to get my capo right here. It's going to suck. But this song is that story in the eyes of the house. It goes like this.
This old house means a world to me. It's where we made our kids, raised a family. This old house was made of mud and stone, but love is what makes a house a home. This old house, standing tall among the pines. I can still remember when I asked you to be mine. This old house, it watched our babies grow, even though it's watching us grow old. This old house is still our home. This old house shared our hopes and dreams. We loved making memories in our eyes, it seems. This old house shared our sadness and our pain. After all is said and done, the memories still remain. This old house, standing tall among the pines. I can still remember when I asked you to be mine. This old house, it watched our babies grow, even though it's watching us grow old. This old house is still our home. Through the window, as we watched us drive, you can almost hear it talk as though to say goodbye. That old house, standing tall among the pines, it stands empty now until the end of time. That old house where we watched our babies grow, even though it's watched us all grow old. That old house is still our home. That old house is still our home.
Thank you so much, everybody.
We love you guys. Thanks.
So I am getting a tat. See, I've already got the lingo down. No one says tattoo anymore. It's totally 2005. I'm getting that. Hey, Tyler, what's up? I'd like to see 3 pieces of ID. Tyler's 12, so that's fun. I think he's just the tattoo apprentice or intern. Seriously, though, how old are you?
27.
Okay. It's adorable. He's got green hair like the Grinch and freckles. Oh, we're already going.
Rock and roll?
Oh, are we ready to rock and roll? This is a tattoo to honor my mom. Wow, really wish we had done this before we started this. I immediately regret where I'm getting it. First of all, because I thought you said you were gonna do my junk. I got a little junk there, a bit of junk. I'm very white, Tyler. So this is for Mom. Now, not that I need a tattoo because she tattooed me every moment we spent together, but I've decided on Le Petit Prince, and it's not Le Petit Prince. I'm saying it properly. It's Le Petit Prince, which was her favorite book, and mine as well, by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. And there are a lot of my favorite quotations in this book about the Little Prince, not the least of which is, this is turning me into a poor opera singer. Tyler, I was trying to do a beautiful moment for my mom, but I think it's going to be more humorous. At any rate, some of my favorite quotes are, "You only see rightly with the heart. What is essential or cannot be seen by the eye." And another reason I chose this is because I'm paraphrasing here, but he's told that it would be the star who's laughing, and for the Little Prince, all the stars will be laughing. So I think that my mom is a star. That's her right here. I feel like that's going to hurt like a bitch, but yeah, so my mom will be the star that's laughing. I gotta be honest, I'm really boning a lot of these beautiful quotes. How do people get sleeves like you, Tyler? Are you a tough guy? You want to go?
I got mine when I was 15, actually.
Well, and Tyler's 16 now, so really have grown into them. I thought this was like a non-hurty part, but we're on the bone. Do you like this position? Yeah. Don't act like. Yeah. So, so it's going to be very colorful. I only have one other tattoo, and that's Buster's paw. I will be getting Miles's paw. I make those colorful too, so when I die, it will look like I have been trampled by a bunch of gay dogs on Pride, which is kind of how I want to go out, right? Right, Tyler? Be honest, Tyler, when this is over, do you want to get into an RV and go across Canada together?
I would totally go across Canada.
Have you ever done a tattoo of the Little Prince? You were familiar with the Little Prince, right?
I'm familiar with it. I've never tattooed. So.
Okay. Awesome, because I didn't want to have, like, what do you do when someone asks for a dolphin and you're like, bitch, don't be basic?
No, honestly, what it comes down to, like, being a tattoo artist and stuff, I find, like, someone comes in, it's more what the client wants.
Right.
So even if they want something that I think is absolutely, like, stupid, that I don't think should be tattooed on somebody,
You gotta roll with it.
Yeah, I gotta roll with it no matter what.
Right now, a lot of people are breathing a collective sigh of relief that I'm not a tattoo artist. I blew Menudo. Because a lot of those chicks get Sanskrit and stuff, and they're like, it means power within, or the tree of life, or Om. And do you ever just want to, like, fuck with them and write something like anal sex forever? Right? And they don't know that, but they think it's something really cool.
Half the time, you don't even know if that's what you're tattooing on them or not.
Exactly.
Like,
Like,
you're just pulling it off Google, and you don't know if somebody's, like, screwing with anybody. I had to cover up a Japanese symbol on some guy's arm that said urine.
well, in Japan, that's a great honor.
A great honor.
The golden showers, of course, is, I believe, what they meant by the waking giant. I'm going to be honest with you, Tyler. This is hurting a bit. Again, I thought we were going to pull that over and put it on my one area of fat. He's just giggling like a schoolboy.
It only moves so far.
I know. And that's probably because I'm tight, yo. I'm tight. All right, well, I'm very happy. I've wanted you know, I wanted this years ago when Mom passed. And I think the good thing with the tattoo, especially me, like I can't even commit to the food I'm chewing half the time. That also sounded weird. Hey, have you ever tattooed someone with a chihuahua next to them?
Usually they're a little bit bigger dogs, but honestly, it's less noticeable.
Well, I'm a size queen too, Tyler, but this is the dog I have right now. But I plan to get another big boy soon. Well, you're doing an awesome job. I appreciate it with my shenanigans. I feel like I should stop making Tyler jokes because could just be like a filthy symbol or some kind of hate crime thing. We don't want any of that. But the little prince, yeah. So my point is, kids, I wanted this tattoo for a few years now, and so I'm sticking with it because I don't know what we would do to cover up the little prince. And then it's just like a little blonde kid on my hip. Very Epstein Island. Okay. Everything all right at home? All right. We'll come back with the final product, the final masterpiece. So first of all, you want to drink all this in now that you have a chance to get some perspective on this body, right?
Full portrait stance. Yeah, no, it's perfect.
So that took you like 10 minutes. It didn't take very long at all.
No, it doesn't take too long.
But I don't think, are these the colors?
Yeah, those will be the colors.
But they're like this, why?
You're a little bit of the redness and blood showing through the color of the tattoo, so the yellow is going to look a little bit orange because yellow and red.
Primary colors, yeah.
Primary colors
Damn my stigmata.
Same with a little bit of your light peach tone there.
Okay.
It just looks a little bit darker. The only color that looks identical will be red because it mixes with your blood. You can't tell the difference of it.
Cool.
So other than that, once it starts healing, once it calms down, it will brighten up.
Why is there saran wrap on it? Is it to keep it fresh?
Yeah, so this is called it's basically second skin.
Okay, yeah.
Saniderm.
Saniderm.
So it's a second layer of skin. It protects it from coming in contact with anything. You can wear it in the shower.
Oh,
you
cool, great.
Take a shower, just live your life completely normal. After about a day or so, it'll start to peel off, and then you just peel it off and give it a good wash off.
Wow,
Other
that's
than that, by the time it starts coming off, it's almost healed.
Oh, wow.
very reptilian-like. So, because I think I pretty much.
Fini, huh?
Yeah, c'est fini. Oh, look at you with your French. I feel like I am a member of the Illuminati, and now I'm a reptile, so I can prove it. So yeah, this is yeah. What do you think? It's for my mom.
I think
it's a little
awesome.
prince. Yeah.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
I think she'd love it. Great job, by the way.
Thank you.
How did it feel
Beautiful job.
on the hip?
I was literally singing soprano quite a bit. Like I have a horrible singing voice. Tyler knows I'm an awesome gangster rapper.
You hit a couple of falsetto notes.
Yeah, I
love
would
her
just-
gangster rap.
I mean, just Queen Vanilla, the White Salty Cracker. Obviously, you have all my albums, but when he hit the
Do you
hip,
have
would be
any in
like,
mind? Skinny latte.
like, are you Skinny
So,
Latte? We
I'm
should
Skinny
tour.
Latte.
So yeah, so
I'm kind of disappointed that you didn't go with my idea.
what was your idea again?
The W on each ass cheek, so when you bend over, it spells wow.
That's beautiful. And upside and mom, obviously,
Upside down
yes.
for your mom.
That's
Yeah, I think.
well.
think
I'm
she would
kind
be-
of disappointed that you're not getting my likeness on your
Again?
tramp stamp.
Again? Why-
Yes,
why would I
you
get
should
it again?
because of my evil twin, Bucky. So that whenever someone's doing you from behind, they're like, "Oh, hi, Carla. How are you?" I feel it's comforting. It's comforting. Wow, that looks amazing. It's a perfect likeness of me.
It's me, Dean McDermott. It does. It looks exactly like you, Carla. Actually, I haven't seen it, so I don't even know what Tyler did back there.
It's a cartoon dog version of me. It's adorable.
Oh, on a little big head, tiny body on a bike?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. That's exactly what I want.
I think it's what you gave Tyler. Dean McDermott's been here the whole time. No, it's
I'm having such a love affair with Canada. I wanted to get some Canadiana, honor my Canadian in me and my Scotsman in me, because you'll see there's a rampant lion in the flag.
Oh, no, it's actually me, my cartoon dog likeness, on a bike wearing a kilt. And that's how we got all your heritage in.
Okay, we need to talk, man. I thought.
I love my tattoo. And I bet you thought, hey, maybe she'll reveal it right now. But no, you have to go to my OnlyFans for that kind of action. I want to thank Tyler and everybody at Rustuk Tattoo. We are going to be back. I am totally into it. They're open again. And yeah, I think we're jonesing for more tattoos. I'm thinking no one's ever gotten a Caillou tattoo, but I could be wrong. Argue me. Prove me wrong. Thanks to our special guests, the Soldiers, Graham Trude and Chris Earl, who have become dear friends. They're wonderful, and look for them to have some new music later in 2021. So that was so special. That was so special we made it our series finale. That's it for season 1 of Carla Collins Rocks the Elmo. We'll be back soon to go on a little hiatus, and you can't miss us if we're always around. I want to take this time to thank everybody, obviously Michael Weckerly and the gang at the Mocambo. We got in there when we could, and a very special thank you to my gay fiance, Michael Stewart Webb, for producing this show, Matt Hodder for doing the editing, and of course Dr. Zira, Cadbury, and Duke. I don't know who's in the shot and who isn't, but everybody here at the Funny Farm for providing all of the comedic relief. So I know, don't miss us too hard. You can find Michael Stewart Webb and moi on the Doucheless Vegan, and we may put it on this YouTube channel, but just go to the Doucheless Vegan YouTube channel. Every week we have a new episode, and it's basically how to live a delicious life without being a dick. But really, we just kind of gossip. We sort of talk about everything. So make sure you tune into that. And I have a new comedy album coming out. I'm very excited about it. We're looking at early April to mid-April, probably the 9th, called Pand Epic with an exclamation mark. And you'll be able to get that on iTunes. And so, see, there's lots of stuff to keep you warm through the night. I was trying to think of a really good closer for the quote, like I like to end the show with every week, and I thought, gotta go with Albert Einstein. He is, of course, the author of many of my favorite quotations, especially because he's all imagination over knowledge. And I think we're all feeling that vibe. It's a hashtag mood right now. Okay, even Chatty the cat is coming into the shot. Like it's, you might not be able to see it, but there's really quite a menagerie here. Chatsworth is also the name of one of my imaginary butlers, Cavendish and Chatsworth, along with my imaginary twins, Quinoa and Kale. So back to the quotation. Don't worry about it. Yes, thank you, ADD. So Albert Einstein, I really have always loved this one, and I need constant reminding, that's just a new word, reminding of this as well. And that's, there are only 2 ways to live your life. One is though nothing is a miracle. The other is though everything is a miracle. And the most important decision we ever make is whether we think we are living in a friendly universe or a hostile one. And although it might not seem it, it is friendly. It's at least friendly adjacent. So thank you so much for tuning in, whether you're listening to this on Apple podcasts or wherever fine podcasts are available, or watching the YouTube channel. It's just been such an honor and a pleasure. A big thank you to all my guests. Was really magical to be able to connect with everybody during these shutdowns and pandemic, and of course my emotional support chihuahua. I'm this close to breastfeeding her. I've got her close to my bosom. Love you, and the reason I think that everything in life is a miracle is because of Michael Stewart Webb and this funny farm, because that was pretty damn miraculous. There are 3 kittens right now sleeping on my bed. I'm just telling you that my bed is covered in mad pussy. Jealous? You should be. Take care of yourself, be good, and we'll see you soon. Right, I just did this to the camera. I gave it a grab. That's Grandma Millie. You'll have to tune in for season 2 to hear about her stories. She was a 90-some-year-old grandmother that used to flash me. Does that explain some stuff? Because it should. I'm going through my bad childhood right now, right at this moment in this chair.